All right, so this is just going to be a really quick kind of paint update. I do apologize if the title or the thumbnail may have been a little clickbaity. Right now, though, I don't know what the thumbnail is going to look like because I haven't done it yet. But I don't like clickbait titles. I don't like clickbait thumbnails, so I apologize if it seemed that way. But it is true. I did kind of start a little fire inside of my door of my 97 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. But most people would think that would be a bad thing. And I will tell you, I have not panicked like that in a very, very long time. But, isn't it, it's probably true that, you get a good panic once in a while is probably good for you. It gets your adrenaline going and, probably helps your blood and your overall health just to get a nice, good panic every once in a while. And I learned a couple of things that day. I learned that fire extinguishing agent tastes really bad. So, anyways, trying to see the whole silver lining and all that kind of stuff, it is a good thing for this build. So, let me tell you what happened. Again, as I said, I drive a 97 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. And a common problem with those cars is that the doors, the hinges will wear out. And when the hinges wear out, the door catch that's bolted into the door does not hit the door latch properly, and it starts to damage the door itself, where the three bolts hold the lock latch mechanism in place. Those three bolt holes will start to crack and break away, and then eventually the door just won't latch shut at all. There are plenty of videos on YouTube showing how to fix that, and I didn't realize that till after my whole scenario was said and done. But what I decided to do was weld in a metal plate to patch up those broken out bolt holes. And I tried to keep the heat low. I would do a little tack and wait a little bit and do another little tack and wait a little bit because, I didn't want to overheat anything on the inside of the door. But I didn't do a good enough job. And I then noticed a bunch of smoke pouring out of where the window goes through the window seam, the window sill. Smoke was just pouring out of there, plus a few other orifices. Smoke was pouring out. I looked into a little bolt hole and I saw a little tiny orange flickering flame inside of the door. And so I ran into the house, got a cup of water. I'm trying to throw the water into that little hole. Well, that little flickering flame seemed bigger. There was more smoke. So then I grabbed my fire extinguisher and tried to spray it into that little hole. And of course, that stuff just went all over the place. And that's when kind of the panic was starting to set in because more smoke was coming out. And I then set a new world record for removing the inside trim panel. Got that thing yanked off and looked inside. And there weren't any flames left. Apparently enough of that fire extinguishing agent got inside of the door. But I really think it was 98% smoke and 2% fire. But it was enough that it completely destroyed the door lock latch mechanism because, of course, most of that is plastic. And it just completely destroyed it. Not only that, but there was a wire harness that was routed right near where I was welding that goes to a little switch that mounts to the back of the key lock. I had no idea that was there. I destroyed that wiring as well. So what I did for a quick fix at that point was I borrowed the door latch, and I know this is a long story, but it does get back to this in a second. Just bear with me here. I borrowed the door latch from the passenger door behind the driver's door, so at least I could close my driver's door. But then I couldn't close the passenger door because there's no latch in it, so I just held that shut with some tie straps and bungee cords, and that worked. So now I have a couple of choices. I have a couple of options. I need to fix the root cause. I need to fix the hinges. There are hinge rebuild kits for $50 each, so there's $100 right there for the two hinges. I need a new door lock mechanism. That's like $30. And plus, my armrest, the inside panel, the armrest where you rest your arm, the armrest was all torn up, chewed up, messed up. It was really kind of rough on my elbow. So that was always bothering me for years. So the other option was just to buy a salvage door, and that would give me all new parts. Well, not new parts, but hopefully better condition than my parts. So I found a door at a salvage yard for $100. I'm like, well, that gives me hinges, the door latch, the new armrest, plus a lot of spare parts I could save and hang on to. The only problem is it's red. So I could just take all of the good parts from the red door, put them onto my normal door, which, by the way, my Jeep, the color code is called Char Gold. Char Gold. And I like the color, but I don't really know what to call it that people would know, because if you just told a normal person that, if somebody asks what color is your car and I say Char Gold, and that's Char Gold, Gold, not charcoal. I know I have kind of a weird accent that makes words hard to understand, and English is not easy for me. Even though it is my primary language, I just struggle with it sometimes. But, man, what was I saying? Yeah, so I like the color, but it's hard to describe because it's not really gold. To me, I kind of think it looks like an olive green, but my wife thinks I'm crazy for calling it green. It's not really brown, it's not really tan, it's not really gray, it's not really any color. It's char gold, but nobody knows, unless you're a Jeep owner, knows what char gold looks like. So anyways, back on track here. So I could take all of the workable parts from the red door, put them on my char gold door, but I would still have that welded repair, and I really didn't want a repaired welded thing on my door. So I decided it would just be better and easier to put the red door onto my car. But now I have a char gold Jeep with a red door, which the more I look at it, the more I kind of like it. But anyways, I'm getting off track here. I decided to paint the door, and I found a website. I'm getting closer to here now. Hang with me. I found a website where I can put in a. I'll put a screenshot of the website here. But you put in your vehicle year, make, and model, and then it pulls up all the colors of that vehicle for that year. And sure enough, char gold is one of the options. So I bought several cans of char gold. It comes in a spray paint. It comes in a spray can, a rattle can, but it's color matched for the car. Now it won't match the fading of the other rest of the car, but at least it'll be closer than red. I bought several cans because there are a few other places that I want to touch up. So again, I bought several cans of the char gold and several cans of the clear coat that they recommend for it. And I'm waiting for that to come in. It'll probably be a couple of weeks. And then I got to thinking about this model here. I don't like the green. Before I picked a color, I went online, I looked up the real car, photos of the real car, and one of them was this dark green, and I really liked it. I assumed it was called British Racing Green. That's what I assumed. So I bought little rattle cans from Tamiya of Racing Green, and I sprayed it on. And at first, I hated it. But for me personally, when I realize I waste a lot of time and or money, I don't like to admit that. So I had two choices, and one of them was to just deny the fact I hated it and force myself to like it. And that was a choice I went with. And every day I looked at it, I hated it a little bit less, but I still never liked it. But now I got this website where I found color match paint for my car. And I'm thinking, well, I wonder if they have the right color for this. So sure enough, went back to that website. I put in 68 maybe. I forget. I put in an old year of the Jeep, not the Jeep. I still got the Jeep on my head. Of the Jaguar. I put in the year, make, model, and all that. And sure enough, one of the colors was dark green metallic or something like that. And I'm like, that's it. So I ordered a can of that. It'll probably be a few weeks before it gets here. But when it gets in, I'm going to respray this with the actual correct color. Now, this probably would have worked. I'm sure somebody out there might have liked it. But it's not the correct color for the car. Since I'm going through all this work to make everything perfect, I decided it should be the correct color. So I'm really excited now to go through and redo this with the actual correct color. So obviously I don't want to mount anything here yet until I repaint this. So this is where I stand now. I'm just waiting for paint. I apologize that this video didn't have any actual building stuff in it. But I really want to wait till I get the paint before I do any more actual building stuff. So I'm going to just stop talking now. I just wanted to give you a heads up where I was. It's been a long time since I've touched this because I've been messing with my car and some other projects. It'll probably be a while before I get back onto it. So just in case any of you are wondering what's happening with this build, I am still working it. It's just going to be a while before I can get back to it, so I just wanted to give you a quick update. So I'm going to stop talking. I think you get the point. And as always, thanks for watching.